I am desperately trying to finish my test knit before the release. I am in a race against time. Will I finish it? Will I or won't I? It is now Saturday evening and I've run into a problem and I'm not sure if I can keep knitting or not. If I can't knit for the rest of the day or not, then I know I probably won't be able to finish, which is really frustrating. I hate to let Alex down and not finish on time. I don't know what I'm gonna do. This just really stinks. I just really hate disappointing anybody. Saturday night update. I've got my tens unit shock in my neck. And I have this on my hands. I have gotten up early so that I can have some time to work on my tie. My goal is to just keep my muscles from getting too tired from finishing this. So hopefully I will finish this baby up and let's hope it's on time. I think I'm gonna do it. Hello and welcome to the Young Folk Knits podcast. This is episode 22. Hello and welcome to the Young Folk Knits podcast. My name is Casey and I'm the maker here at Young Folk Knits. If you're a returning viewer, then thank you so very much for joining me again. And if you're a new viewer, then you are very welcome. This is a podcast mainly about knitting. Also, sometimes there's some sewing, maybe some crochet. Last episode, there were friendship bracelets, so you really never know. I really never know. But I definitely focus mainly on knitting. I live on a small farm in Arkansas with my husband and our children where we raise chickens and we have a honeybee farm and we love to spend lots of time outside here in the foothills of the Ozarks. So today is actually Saturday afternoon, and if you've been following along with previous episodes, then you know that I am working on a test knit for Alex from Verin Rose on Instagram. And that is the Zosia wrap cardigan. This is it with these beautiful balloon sleeves. So it actually wraps around and ties, hence wrap cardigan. And it has this beautiful all over lace detail on the front panels and the sleeve. And then even the waistband has lace as well, just going in the opposite direction. So this test knit is releasing Monday, August 30th. Today is Saturday, August 27th. And I am desperately trying to finish my test knit before the release. I have totally finished the body of the cardigan except for the waistband. So the way you work the waistband is when you have finished the body of the cardigan, you leave it on hold, all of those stitches, and then you move on and you can work the sleeves or you can go straight to the waistband. I did the sleeves first, but whenever you are ready for the waistband, then let me get to a point in my stitches where I can show you I'm not in the middle of a row. Sorry. Okay, so when you are ready to work your waistband, you're gonna start by working the tie. So that's worked separately. You cast on your stitches for your tie, and that is on the right side of your sweater. as in left and right, not right and wrong, but the actual right side of your body, of your sweater. And you're going to knit that tie to the length that you want it. I knit mine to 37 centimeters. I think in the pattern, if you want it to look like the original sample, you need to knit it to like 50 centimeters. But I wanted a lot smaller bow, and I wanted something a little bit less dramatic. So when it was the length I wanted it to be, I measured it 37 centimeters. So then you start attaching it to the body of your Zosia wrap. And you do that by continuing to knit along, but whenever you get to the end, you're going to slip, purl, and join it with that live stitch on the body of your cardigan. And then you work back the other way, and then when you come back, you're going to join it again with another live stitch. So you have to do that all the way across the body of your sweater, and then you have to knit the... Oh wow, all of my stitches just fell off. Good thing with alpaca, they ain't going nowhere. These are those stitches on the body I have left. I only have like 15 stitches left, something like that. And then I'm actually knitting my tie this direction, but I've put them all on the same needle so that I can have less things going on. But, you know, that's coming this way and joining with my sweater that's going up. So the parts that are already done look like this side, where this is the actual body, which is going up, and then this is the tie, which is going this way. So what I need to do is to finish these last few stitches where I'm connecting it with the body. I don't think will take me that long. I can probably do it in the next 30 minutes, but then I will need to knit the rest of the tie. So the tie is going to be the length of the other tie, which is 37 centimeters. But I also need to measure myself wrapped around my body, that measurement, and add it on to the 37 centimeters. So I've still got a long tie to make, and I need to finish that tie, which I know there's no way I'll be able to do that today. So I'm hoping I can finish that tie tomorrow and then block it tomorrow night. Put a fan on it, and then put it on my mesh sweater blocker with like 2 fans blowing on it at full speed, and see if it will dry overnight. Especially since this is lace, it really needs to be blocked to open the lace up. So I did go down a needle size for the waistband, which you're supposed to do, 1 size lower than what you worked your main body of your sweater in. I think that's also good because it kind of, I think, is going to help keep everything from stretching out a lot whenever you've got it wrapped around you as a tie. I think it needs a little bit more structure. But yes, I absolutely am loving it so far. Total honesty though, I am ready to be done with it so that I can wear it. So I am in a race against time. Will I finish it? Will I or won't I? We will see. I mean, obviously, definitely the body's gonna be finished, but I am really doubtful on the whole length of the tie. So I am using my red lace Chow Goo needles, and they have a really nice tip that I think works so well for doing the lace, because this yarn can be a little bit finicky and you're definitely having to get in there with a couple of these stitches. So I think a nice pointy tip is of utmost importance in this pattern. Slip pearls are no fun to do unless you have a really good needle. I'll show you how I do my slip pearls. Okay, I'm back to my slip pearl. So I've got the last stitch on my waistband and the next stitch on the body of my cardigan. So I'll insert as if to knit and slip that, and insert as if to knit again and slip that. You have to do them separately, and then both need to go back to the left-hand needle. I will then insert through the back loops to purl and purl them together. And that is how I do it. So I want to drop these 3 stitches off my needle. Pointy needle tips help a lot. So there's my first one. I'm just going to pull it out and make sure to separate it. And then I'll do my second one, and I'm going to make sure to separate that one. And then here's my third one. So I'm going to go in purlwise to pick it up, and I'm going to go underneath those stitches that I have pulled out. So the threads from those, I'm going to go underneath that. I will insert my needle and knit that stitch. And there's a pretty stitch. Another thing I've found that I need to do is, you see there's a big hole over here and not hardly one at all over here. So I find I need to kind of grab a hold of the ladders or the yarns from those stitches I dropped on this side, and then with this thumb grab a hold of my stitch and kind of pull it over a little bit to even it out. Now I've got a more even hole on both sides. All right, y'all, I will check back in and let you know when I've made some progress. Hopefully I will finish this baby up, and let's hope it's on time. It is now Saturday evening and I've run into a problem. So I've been having a flare from my autoimmune disease, and it causes a lot of body pain, and I'm hurting really bad all over, and I'm not sure if I can keep knitting or not. If I can't knit for the rest of the day or not, then I know I probably won't be able to finish, which is really frustrating. I hate to let Alex down and not finish on time. I don't know what I'm gonna do. This just really stinks. I just really hate disappointing anybody. A little Saturday night update. I did finish all of the stitches on the body, and now I am furiously knitting on the stitches for the tie, the 95 centimeter tie that I'm doing. And I had to take a break for a minute, and I've got my tens unit shock in my neck. And I have this on my hands. My goal is to just keep my muscles from getting too tired from finishing this. I can do it. We must persevere. Good morning, y'all. It is Sunday morning. I have gotten up early so that I can have some time to work on my tie, and then I'll need to finish it this afternoon and evening. So I was just gonna give you a little bit of an update. So I've got to get to 95 centimeters, and this is where the end of the body is, and I've got this far. So I think I can do it, but it will probably take me all day. And then I'll need to block it and get it dry as quickly as possible so that I can take some pictures of it tomorrow. Tomorrow is release day. Very exciting. And I've been thinking a lot about what I am going to work on next. I have a lot of things I need to finish. I definitely do want to finish my half and half wrap, but I feel like that's going to be a long-term project, and I'm okay with that. I also am doing a test knit of the back to school sock set for Hannah Graham, so I definitely need to finish those socks up, but they're really small, cute little kids socks, so I don't think that they'll take me that long. I have an entire container full of whips, but am I going to work on those? Absolutely not. Where is the fun in that? I have decided that because I have serious FOMO, I am going to make an Alpenglow sweater. Well, everyone else is making one. It just sounds like it'll be fun. The Alpenglow sweater is by Andrew Mowry, and I'll just be honest, when I first saw it, I wasn't like, oh my goodness, I've got to knit that right now. But I still liked it, and now that everybody's knitting it for Rhinebeck, I think that I kind of want to knit one just for fun. So after I've thought about it for a while, I've picked out a shawl that I've had in my queue for quite a bit. I already have the pattern because it's in a book that I purchased. It's in an issue of Pom Pom from a few years ago. It's this beautiful brioche shawl, and it's called the Sojourner shawl. Are either of those current whips? No. But am I casting it on anyway? Absolutely. I like to live on the dark side. All right, I've got a good way to go, so I'm gonna get busy, and I will talk to you all shortly.
Like a wild man, sleeping like a child. You're so luminous and vibrant. I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom. Always in bloom for you. Times I've stranded, a castaway on unknown shore, although a stranger in this continent. I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom. Always in bloom for.
All right, Sunday night update. It is about 7:30. And I am at, what am I at? I'm at 84, okay, I'm at 84 centimeters, and I need to get to 95 centimeters, so I think I'm gonna do it. Yes.
I'm always in bloom, always in bloom for you.
It is 10 o'clock on Sunday night, and I have a finished Zosia wrap cardigan, and I am so excited. I am so happy. I feel like I'm about to start crying right now. I am just, this is just amazing.
2 minutes to explain. You better come up with something smart to say. 'Cause I'm already on my way. I heard them whisper behind my back. I saw them glancing my way. I saw the look when his eyes met yours. I heard you whisper his name. A different scent in your perfume, a sudden flush in your face, and what we have is gone without a trace. Give me
Okay, it's Monday morning and I just realized that release day is Tuesday, not today. Hello y'all, I hope everyone is still doing well. I am so excited because my Zosia wrap cardigan is totally and completely finished. I can't believe I finally finished, and y'all, it is so good. It is so good. I feel like the fit of this ended up so perfect, and it's so soft and it's just so pretty. The texture, I love everything about it. So now that this baby is an FO, let's just dive right in and talk about all the things. So if you've been watching from the beginning of my Zosia wrap test journey, then you'll know that I got the yarn for this, which is Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk from a Ravelry D-Stash for $30 for 10 balls, which was amazing. I was so excited. As far as I know, there's nowhere actually in the US that sells drops yarn, and I wasn't sure on shipping from other places. Since then, I have discovered that Wool Warehouse, which is in the UK, does ship to the US. Shipping is great, fast, reliable. Plus, Wool Warehouse has this yarn on sale right now. I'd say now's a really good time to grab you up a sweater's quantity of the Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk. This was my first time knitting with that yarn, and I can't say enough good things about it. I mean, first of all, it's budget friendly. I think it comes to about, since I didn't actually purchase it from the store, but I think that it does come to around $3 a ball of yarn. And I used 9 balls. I made the size extra large. There's 2 options for a wider waistband and a narrower waistband, which I'll talk about more in a little bit. But for yarn purposes, I'll just tell you I made the narrow waistband. So if you make the wide one in the size extra large, you may need 10 balls. So it says that this yarn is classified as an Aran weight. It is very thick. I would say it is the equivalent of at least 2 strands of Surrey alpaca held together. But it is still so light. I have a sweater that I knit, a cardigan, that I knit completely out of 2 strands of Surrey held together. And it is heavier than this. This is actually lighter than that. So even though it's fluffy as 2 held together, it's still so light. So that being said, I do not think that this cardigan could be knit out of a worsted weight yarn that is wool, for instance, and be as light and fluffy as this is. I just don't think it would work. I think it would be so heavy that I just think for this pattern that's probably not going to work out. I think you really need to go with something like mohair or Surrey alpaca. And honestly, I just don't think you could do better than the Drops Brushed Alpaca Silk. Now, if you have like 2 strands of Surrey or 2 strands of mohair, I think that would work pretty well too, because that's what a lot of the testers did, and I think that their sweaters look absolutely gorgeous. It is an all over lace pattern. I did the long sleeves and I made them long enough so that they could kind of balloon a bit at the bottom. And this is a drop shoulder, and it has a bit of an interesting construction because the actual back of the sweater is knit in stockinette, and you knit that first and then you pick up the stitches and knit the front panel. And you're actually still knitting part of the back when you do that, and it kind of goes up and over. So anyway, the way that this is constructed, I find to be very flattering. You know, it hangs down over my shoulders, and the sleeve doesn't start till about mid bicep, and that look seems to be the most flattering for my particular body shape. So another thing is that you are working in very fluffy yarn, and bottom line, you just don't want to rip back. I did have to rip back a few times, and you just don't want to have to do that. It is not fun in this yarn. So because this pattern is a very advanced pattern, I feel like it is the reason I feel like it's an advanced pattern is because of what you're doing. And it's not that it's some totally difficult technique that you can't do. It's simply that you're doing a lot of things that you don't want to be doing for the first time altogether. You want to have done all of these things before you do this sweater, in my opinion. So you're working from a chart. You are taking that chart and adding new stitches, and so you need to be able to look at the chart and say, okay, I've got a new stitch. What does it need to be as I'm adding it and making increases? Then at the same time as you're doing some of these increases here, you're doing waist shaping at the side. So you need to be able to keep in mind that you are adding to your lace pattern, you're increasing in one spot, you're decreasing in another spot, and you're following a chart. So that is a lot going on at once. So I would highly recommend doing something that I don't do, and if I was making this, I would do it. Read the whole pattern first. That is what you need to do. Just do it and you'll be fine. So in the last episode, I told y'all that Alex very kindly is giving away a copy of her pattern to one of you. And I will go ahead and put the name of the winner here. Thank you so much, Alex. We really appreciate it. And to the winner, if you will contact me via email, my email address is youngfolkknits@gmail.com. Then we will send you your pattern. For everyone else, very good news. Right now, the pattern is 20% off on both Ravelry and Etsy with no code needed, and that is going to be through the weekend, through Sunday. But if you're watching this after the weekend and you did not get your pattern yet, it's okay, because Alex has given a code that will work through September 11th of 2022 for 20% off. So this is case sensitive, but you can use YoungFolk20 on both Ravelry and Etsy for 20% off your pattern through September the 11th. So thank you very much, Alex. We appreciate that so much. And I just absolutely love this cardigan. One person commented on the last episode that it really gave them ballet vibes, and you know what? You are exactly right. It did take me back to my ballet days way back in the day, and it definitely has that vibe. The wraparound, I think a cream or a light pink or any kind of neutral would very much so give the ballet vibe. So I love it. I think it's awesome. I am styling mine with black jeans and a tan tank top. Then I have a black felt fedora that has a brown fabric ribbon around it that I think it matches the cardigan perfectly. So that may be a wardrobe staple for me this fall. So now that I've finished my test knit and I finished on time, I could not believe it. I was so happy. A lot of times I just need pressure. I work well under pressure. Sometimes I think I work better under pressure. So anyway, now that I've cast that off, did I begin working on my other whips like a good girl? No, I did not. I absolutely did not. I cast on something new immediately. So let me tell you all about it. So I am a sucker for knit-alongs. I really am. They get me every time. And as soon as Andrea Mowry released her Rhinebeck sweater for this year, I liked it. I mean, I liked it fine. It just did not strike me as something that I felt the need to cast on immediately. It was a nice pattern. It was there. But I started seeing all of these FOs, and there's a knit-along going on to finish for Rhinebeck, and I just thought it would be really fun. So the pattern is called Alpenglow, and it's by Andrea Mowry, or Drea Renee Knits on Instagram. So it is made out of sport weight yarn from Magpie Fibers and Spin Cycle. And then also it has a section of lace weight, like Surrey alpaca or mohair or cashmere type thing. And I have a lot of sport weight yarn from Quince & Co. They're chickadee, but I only have like 2 of the same color. So one that I had 2 colors in was their honey color. So then I had a couple of this color too, which is Shell. It's this mauvey pink, but still pretty neutral. So I decided that I would do honey for the collar, the neck, and the first section. And then for my Surrey, so I have this red from the Farmer's Daughter Fibers, which I love. I love this red so much. Y'all have no idea. It is one of my favorite colors. And you barely use any of it, which I think is awesome. So if you have a ball and stash, you can use that. And then for the body, I am using Shell. So these are my colors. And then for my contrast, I am going to use this Spin Cycle, which is Mississippi Marsala. So these are my colors. So I actually cast this on yesterday, and here is my sweater so far. Hang on, I got needles everywhere. Okay, y'all, I am obsessed. Like, I am literally obsessed. I love it so much. Apparently I have a color palette for this fall, which is pink and orangey red, like my half and half. And I love it. I am enjoying it very much. So you start by casting on the yoke with a long tail cast on, and you knit your sweater, and then you go back and pick up the collar and you do a 2x2 rib and you fold it over and seam it down. However, I have massive fit issues with yoke sweaters. I'm able to get 0 of them to fit correctly so far. So I went ahead and picked up my stitches and am doing the collar because I feel like that very much impacts the fit of the sweater, and I'm going to try this on as I go and do my best to make it fit correctly. So I actually have one other pair of socks that I'm planning on casting on this fall, and that is the Oh Honey socks by my friend Anniina. She actually has a podcast as well. Those are releasing tomorrow, which is Thursday, or by the time this is uploaded, it'll probably be today. It's releasing September 1st, Thursday. And I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So I have the Woolberry Fiber Co. color Bee Butt. And I think that they would be perfect. I mean, honey socks with a honeycomb pattern in a Bee Butt colorway. I mean, it's like they're made for each other. I just absolutely love this pattern. It's so cute. Miga from Skeins of Dreams, she is casting it on too. I think that Fernanda from Little Monkeys and Me have made these socks. I need to check again, but yes, I think they're absolutely adorable. Anniina has very kindly offered to give one of you lovely knitters a copy of the pattern as well. So thank you so much, Anniina. I'm very excited for this pattern. I think it is absolutely beautiful. So to win a copy of this pattern, all you need to do is subscribe to the channel and make a comment on this video. and you will be entered to win a copy of the socks. So be sure and check those out. And she also has a really fun podcast. She did an episode not too long ago that was so interesting. She went to a, was it a fiber festival? I'm trying to remember exactly what event she was at. But Sari Nordland and some other very well-known designers were there, and she interviewed them. And I thought she asked some great questions, and it was really interesting. So you should check her channel out as well. Okay, so I think my plan is to knit a little bit on the collar of my Alpenglow sweater and answer a question or two. We'll see how much time we have. So a question that I have got many times has been about my favorite yarn brands, favorite fibers, favorite superwash, non-superwash, that type of thing. So I thought I'd chat about that for a minute. I like different yarns for different things, but my favorite to knit with is definitely non-superwash. A non-superwash wool is my absolute favorite. So for a long time, merino was my go-to, and I loved it. It was soft, it wasn't itchy at all, and I just thought it was the best thing ever. Not to say it's not. I mean, I think merino is very versatile. It's lovely, it's amazing, it's soft, it's great. But I don't think that it is the toughest yarn that there is. I'm talking about a non-superwash merino yarn. It is very soft, but I have this extremely weird aversion to pilling. I am terrified that my knits are going to pill. It's like a paralyzing fear that I have of pilling. I mean, I will actually not knit something because I think that it might be bad to pill. I find myself not using merino as often as I used to because of that fact. I don't think it's as hardy. So if I'm gonna make a sweater, I'm scared to death that, you know, right here it's gonna pill. Any place that might, you know, the elbows, any place that might get a lot of wear, that it's just gonna have these big ugly pills on it that I can't get off. And I know that you can buy those depillers, so I should definitely get one considering I have such an issue with it. But anyway, I have been branching out to some different yarns, and I find that I've really enjoyed them, and I like knitting with them more than merino. Some of these have more spring, I feel like, and they're still soft. So I do love Peruvian wools, and there's just so many different, you know, BFL is super nice. So for instance, I am obsessed with Rambouillet. I think that Rambouillet is my all-time absolute favorite yarn ever. I absolutely love it. It is bouncy, it's light, it's everything. I can't say enough good things about it. It is my #1 wool choice for sure. Another wool that I love is Corriedale. I love Corriedale wool. It is still very soft, but feels rustic at the same time. And I feel comfortable knitting it a hat or a sweater out of it and then actually wearing it. I think it's gonna last for quite a while. So then you have your super strong and hardy wools. You know, things that come to mind are Jameson Spindrift and Let Lopey yarn. A lot of those end up just being too scratchy for me to wear next to skin. If I make something with that, I have to wear it over a garment. It's just so itchy for me. So I'm interested, what is your favorite type of yarn to knit with? So I was talking to the lovely Ailey, who has the Thoughtful Knitter podcast. She knows my love for all British telly. So she sent me a message. She said, I was just thinking there is a show that you would love, and it is called Doc Martin. And I said, oh yes, Ailey, I do love Doc Martin. It is absolutely hilarious. And we were just laughing and talking about that a little bit, and I thought, you know, I haven't watched that in a while, and sometimes you just need a light, feel good, funny escape. And so I have gone back and started that over from season 1, and I have been watching that, and it is absolutely hilarious. The people of Port Wynn are something else. So I think that's all I have time to chat about on questions today, but please remember, if there are any topics or questions you'd like me to chat about, then make sure and leave them in the comments or comment on Instagram, and I will add them to my list. But thank y'all so much for joining me. Thank you to everyone that entered the giveaway on the last video. And don't forget to comment for the chance to win the Oh Honey socks. Also, if you enjoy these videos, then please subscribe to the channel. Subscribing, commenting, and liking really help the channel out, so I appreciate it greatly. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk soon. Happy knitting!